We are taking flight this morning. Critically acclaimed filmmaker John Downer has always taken his films to the next level, and this time he is soaring to new heights with beautiful birds in Wings 3D. John joins us this morning to share some of his innovative techniques and revolutionary ways he captures wildlife for the big screen. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
Congratulations on Wings 3D. I'm almost giddy talking to you this morning. I have so many questions for you. First, tell us a little bit about what we can expect with this new film.
The film takes you on the wings of birds across the continents, and it's an incredible journey as spring arrives and the birds repopulate the continent. But what makes it absolutely unique is we're flying with them, and we become part of the flock, and we see the world as they see it. So it's a continual revelation, but shot from the bird's point of view. So you're seeing things that you might think were familiar, a lot of things that are definitely not familiar, but you're seeing it all the time from this different perspective. And of course, it's all shot in 3D, which is just an extraordinary experience with the birds coming out of the screen.
Well, yeah, and I get excited over a GoPro camera, so I can't imagine what it's like working with equipment that you're working with. How on earth do you get these shots, pun intended? I understand some of these cameras are attached to birds.
Yeah, but there's a whole range of techniques that we've used, and basically we were inventing a lot as we went along. Yeah, we had cameras on the backs of birds, absolutely, you know, a unique perspective, something that you kind of dream about, but you know, it's very real when you're actually flying there from that viewpoint.
Well, how do you get those cameras back once
Well,
they
the
take
birds
flight?
that did that were birds that were habituated to people, so they were very confident around people. We wouldn't do it to wild birds, so they would ultimately come back. They were like our cameramen. They would go into the sky, take the shots, and they would come back to us with them. And so it was always a revelation what they had captured, you know, on the way. And that's, you know, fantastic when you start to look at the footage back and you say, well, that is incredible. But it's the bird that's taken you there. It's the bird that's, you know, giving you that viewpoint.
Wow. Well, and I understand you use some drones as well, which is a really hot topic right now. People are very fascinated by those cameras.
Well, we used drones. I mean, we were some of the first, you know, I mean, they're now becoming more commonplace, but it was some of the first use of drones that we used in Africa. We used them flying over the biggest population of flamingos that have ever been seen, just a sea of pink. And also we put 3D cameras on it, so it's really genuinely, you know, shot from 3D, from drones. But we had also cameras that were shaped like vultures, you know, to go up with vultures in the air. We had a glider that actually looked like a vulture, so it became one of the vultures. So as well as the birds, you know, doing the photography, we had every kind of conceivable means of filming as well. We had also our own flocks of birds that were used to flying alongside microlights, and we would take them on some of the migration routes of the birds as well to get that real wingtip to wingtip perspective, you know, so that you actually feel you are part of the flock. I mean, to do that, that's a process that takes over a year to get them, you know, from the point that they come out of the egg, become part of the family of the person piloting the microlight, and then ultimately going up and taking them over some of the cities of the world, whether it's Venice or whether it's New York or you know, all the other places that we visited on the way.
Wow. Well, you were just continuously topping yourself and upping your game. Can you possibly do anything better than this? I don't know. How do you ever top this?
Well, that's a really good question, but I think it's not about topping it. It's about a different subject, and the subject then creates, you know, the opportunities for different techniques. And it's all about, you know, telling the animal story. So we're driven by the story that the animals have to tell. So every new subject that we go to and look at, we have to then work out, how do you get that new perspective? How can you say what it's like to be that animal? How do we enter that world? And that kind of drives the innovation and the technology. But the technology is not an end to itself. It's just a means of telling the animal story. So everything is about, you know, what other subjects are there? What other stories are there to tell? And that kind of drives the whole thing on.
Well, and this is a story that I understand took you years to make, right? Is that correct?
Oh yes, from the very start when we made Earthflight, the 6-part series, into the 3D, where we actually reshot a lot of the events again because we were using 3D cameras and actually literally shooting in 3D and shooting them again. I mean, that process is 6 years, you know, so the culmination of 6 years' work is up on that screen in 3D.
Wow. Well, I hope everybody goes out and sees it. Tell people where we can see it and what's the best way to witness this amazing footage and this story.
Well, go to fathomevents.com and it will tell you there how to buy tickets. It's a 2-event ticket. One day on the 16th, it's Doctor Who, and then that's followed by Wings 3D on the 17th, and it's a 1 ticket buys both events. So it's an incredible, you know, it's an incredible couple of days, you know, for anyone who goes to get those tickets.
I would imagine so. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us this morning, and I can't wait to see this and certainly hear about future projects that you will be working on. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
All right, we will, of course, put all that info on our website as well, fox4morningblend.com.
And up next, we roll out the red carpet to welcome royalty, how the reigning Miss America is helping children across the country.